All right, this is the follow-up to our HSOL pick we sent out last night. Remember, we wanted it over this 3-day high at 631. I'll add today's candle in. You can see it opened at 629 and never hit 631. Having said that, I actually did make a call on this today. When it looked like this, one of my members private messaged me and said, hey, this looks pretty good over 620. I like the fact that we all know 631 is potential breakout area, okay? Sold off, it did a nice bounce, kind of tested the 620 area here, bounced, and then tested it again. So I called it at 622, kind of a clean break of 620 with a, let me double check the announcements feature here, 615 stop, so 7 cents risk, and hit 622 and went right to the high of the day, 629. So gave us about a 7-cent move in a few minutes for those that got filled, and then gave us 5, 10, a good 15 minutes to get out flat or for a slight gain. It just never did get going, and anyone that held ended up taking a full stop out right there. That absolutely doesn't mean it's not on watch. So keep this. I'm not going to send it out every night over and over. We send out one free pick a week, but this HSOL, keep this on your radar. Anytime this week over 630, this could get a nice pop. You look to the left, had a recent high of 674. So this could make a measured move over 630 one of these days. Go over a couple calls I made this morning. HUN gapped up above. I like this. We already had this on watch. My drawing tool going here. I already had this on watch before today because I liked it yesterday. See how it peaked above 18? It's had trouble with 18. So I already had it on long watch, and then today it gapped up. So how do we handle that? Well, I'll just leave the chart the way it is. Had this big range, and this is what I mean by trading in the first 5 or 10 minutes can be pretty precarious because you get these big crazy moves that there's no way to predict. But it put in the first opening 5-minute candle, wide range, and then it put in a nice narrow range on the second one, an inside candle. And so I called it over this one, 1828, and I'll show you what it looked like when I called it. Looked like that. I called it 1828 with a stop 11 cents below, and from 1828 nicely through the high of the day, and made it to 1861 eventually, right there. So it made a big deal, 33-cent move, but we were never in danger. You see our entry here? Never in danger of even having to take a break even, and it was just a matter of scaling out wherever you wanted in parts. So I mean, it was a nice way to start the day. Didn't exactly tear it up though. CRE, didn't have any huge ones today. I called CRE, C-R-E-E. I like the early pop. Called it over here, right there on this candle. 34.52. It actually looked like this when I called it in the room. 34.52, stopped 20 cents below. And it did move through the high of the day, went to 34.90. So not a huge move. Again, you can look at this and say, oh, nope, you stopped out. No, we didn't, because we always scale out when we get a move in our favor, tighten up the stop on the rest. Teach defensive trading. Pay yourself on the first move, tighten up your stop. Very rarely do I, do I ever take a full position stop out on a call that I make, because if we get any kind of move, I'm selling some and tightening up stop. Always play defense when trading, guys. SWKS, pretty beaten up tech stock, and the other techs were pretty strong, and I liked it over this red candle right here. Called it at 32, I'm sorry, try that again, 23.52 right here. Said if it got to 23.52, worst case stop 14 cents below. So if it got up to here, that was our call, and you can see it did that right there, and almost over the next 10 minutes to 23.75. So, and these are indicative of what we try to find. Something that if it hits our trigger price, you should get a nice move based on the chart. So you don't have to worry about, am I going to lose money? It's pay yourself quickly. None of these followed through the way I'd hoped they would. And then we had one of our bottom feeders. You guys know, you've seen enough of our videos to know when something's grinding down and then goes into this push. And this one was already beaten up anyway. Look at the daily. It's down all these red days in a row. I called BKS using a method we teach at 1662. Worst case stop a dime below. So we caught that within a dime of the low of the day, 1662, and it did go to 1698 there. Again, didn't give you much worry about having to take a loss. It was a matter of scaling out where you wanted. And there were some great calls by several of our members as well. There were some others too. I called DANG, D-A-N-G. right here on this green candle, and it gave us like a, I don't know, a 20-cent move before coming back to our entry. So a little gain there. PacSun, I called if it broke this base here when it looked like, actually I called if it broke this candle here, 266, and it didn't, and it went sideways, so we canceled it. But PacSun, PSUN, worth looking at. Just been getting destroyed as a teen retailer, and then is in a long base here, and tried to peek out of that today, so that might be worth watching later in the week. And that's about it for the day. Oh, BYD, I wanted to share this. Called this at 8:51 with an 8:46 stop over this base. So 8:51, 10 minutes later, I killed it flat and announced that I was killing it flat. We were looking for this base break, and it was over the high from about a week ago, too. We were looking for some follow-through and didn't get it. And again, as I said, we teach defensive trading. If it doesn't go, we'll find another trade. No reason to hang on. So I think that was it for the day. You know, the Dow was up a lot, and it's always embarrassing when you don't have any big winners when that happens. But the market's been kind of doing a slow grind throughout the day. So if you don't find any of the setups that if I don't find any of the setups that I like, I'm not just going to chase something as it's grinding higher. I've got a talent for picking the top whenever I do that. So it has to be a setup that I teach in the methods that we use. And again, defensive trading is what it's all about. You always want to sell some into a pop, tighten up your stop. Don't ever marry any particular trade, guys. You know, no matter how much you like the setup, if it's not working or if it's just moved up a little, there's no reason to hang on. We can always find other ideas. So anyway, I'm going to stop babbling, and we'll send out another free pick next week, and we'll send out a highlight video Wednesday night with what we find during our live trading session on Wednesday in our chat room. So until then, we'll talk to you later. Have a good night.